What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Williams, and I'm coming at you today with another video. Today, we're talking about adding and subtracting and multiplying radicals. So, in this video, we'll just go through a couple of examples and pick out some things we need to remember. Here's what I like to use when we're adding and subtracting. So, let's just jump right in. Number one, first thing we want to do is identify like radicals. Well, what do we mean by like radicals? Like radicals are radicals that basically have the same radicand and the same index. So in other words, it's the same number under the radical and the same index. So we've identified like radicals here. I mean, this is already given. So we're going to combine the coefficients. The coefficients are the numbers in the front. So we've got -5 and -3 in the front. Combine those, you get -8. And keep the same radical. So even though I combined this and put them together, our radical is still radical 3. Last step is to simplify. We can't simplify this any further, so we are done. Number 2, we are already given like radicals again, so let's combine the coefficients. We've got 2 and nothing. All right, so what do I do? Well, we're going to put a 1. That's always going to be understood to be a 1 as a coefficient. If nothing's there, you always put a 1. Now let's combine them. 2 minus 1 is 1. Keep the same radical, radical 8. Now, we can simplify this last step. So let's go ahead and break down that 8. That's 4. That's 2, and 2. Now, remember, when you break this down, this group comes out to the front. That becomes a coefficient. So the blue 2 is going to go to the front. This other 2 here stays under the radical because we couldn't pair it. It's left over. Now, one thing I'll point out is the 1 that was already a coefficient. Well, we have to multiply that times our new coefficient. By new coefficient, I mean this blue 2 right here. So we got to multiply that. And even though it's going to stay the same, it's good to go through that process because other problems are going to give you that same thing. So you want to know how to do that. All right, let's move down to another one. Let's look at number 6. So we've got no like radicals. Nothing's the same. Well, let's go ahead and just break it down, simplify it to make it the same. 12, 4, 3, and 2, 2. So this 2 comes out to the front. That's supposed to be a circle. So we've got 2. The 3 is left over. That's radical 3. And just remember that 4 is not left over. We broke it down. Only thing left over is the 3. That's why it's under the radical. So the -3, we have to multiply it by the -3 that was already there. That's very important. So here, 6 radical 3. We've broken down that first one. So we're done with that. I don't even need that anymore. Well, now guess what? I've got like radicals now. I've got this green one, -6 radical 3 and 3 radical 3. Well, we're going to go ahead and combine those according to the coefficients. -6 plus 3 gives me -3 radical 3. And now the last one that says 3 radical 20. Well, we can simplify that. So let's break down this 20. Break down this 20. That's going to become 4 and 5, 2 and 2. That's supposed to be a 2. That doesn't look like a 2. Now it does. All right. So 2 and 2, that's going to come to the front. That becomes a coefficient. And we're going to multiply that times the 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. What's left over? The 5 is left over. So we've got 6 radical 5. Now, we can't combine this any further because there are no like radicals. We can't simplify, so we're actually done. You would write that as an expression, -3 plus 6 radical 5. -3 radical 3 plus 6 radical 5. All right, let's do one more. Try number 7 with me. I encourage you. Pause the video, take some time and see if you can figure it out. And then when I put the answers up, see if you got it right. And if you didn't, find your mistake. So you can pause the video now. All right, so let's go through this. Here's what we have. No like radicals, so let's break it down. Whoa, need that. Let's break this down. 45, that's going to be 9 times 5, 3 times 3. And we're going to multiply this 3 times the -2, so that gives me -6 radical 5. The 5 was left over, it's under the radical. Same thing here. Let's break that down. That's 2. Oops, I'm sorry. That should be 5. 4 times 5 is 20. I already see some like radicals developing here. So now we're going to multiply this 2, this group of 2, times that -3. That gives me -6 radical 5. I've got 2 radical 5s. And I already know I can break this down into 2 times 3, but I can't remove anything from the radical. So there's no need in breaking down that third one. So let's just go ahead and combine our like radicals now. We've got radical 5 and radical 5. So -6 and -6 gives me -12. The last one, we can't break it down. It doesn't. So we're just going to tack it on. So we've got -12, keep the same radical, minus 2 radical 6. That's supposed to be a 6, and this should be a radical. So how did I know to subtract? Because that 2 is negative. All right. So give this a shot. Go for it, and good luck on your future work. And hit me up if you've got any questions.